Hello, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel, and today I want to talk about the benefits of taking a break in imagining the thing that you want. So first of all, definitely sign up for my mailing list by registering to sovereignmind.com. And the worksheet that I talk about in this video is a pop-up on the top of the website. You can fill out your email and get this worksheet on resistance reducing techniques. So anyway, taking a break is something that I recommend from time to time if there seems to be a lot of stress or resistance when it comes to imagining the thing that you want. So first of all, in order to manifest what you want, the idea is to construct a scene that would imply that your desire has already been fulfilled. That means in its full fruition, write down what it would be like if you were now that person, if you were now there, if you now had exactly what you want. And then the idea is to replace your current reality with this imaginal reality, the scene that you've written down. And if you do this at nighttime before you go to bed, and if you fall asleep while imagining, then it will impress upon the subconscious mind and it will replicate in this world, and you will encounter any number of incidents, and at the very end of those incidents, you will end up as that person, getting what you want, or being who you desire to be. So when it comes to manifesting a specific person, which was what this person's goal was, they had constructed a scene and imagined that they were now in a relationship with them, that they were married, and that it was an anniversary scene. And he had been doing it for quite some time. And what ended up happening was, and this is one of my coaching clients, he had encountered something that was contrary to his imaginal act, okay? Now, I knew previously that his seed had already been planted, the seed of this imaginal act, because of the events that were transpiring in his world, right? That's one of the things that I do. I kind of objectively look at all the things going on, and I can tell generally if a seed has been planted. So in this man's case, yes, I believed it was planted. But nevertheless, when he had seen this thing that was contrary to his desire in real life, in physical reality rather, it very much disturbed him to the point where it really bothered him. It bent him out of shape, understandably. And at the nighttime, someone else, that person whom he had seen her with, popped into his imaginal act. And so he was very disturbed. And when I talked to him, I made the recommendation to, first of all, download my technique, my resistance removing technique worksheet or whatever, and then just to take a break. You know, I had confidence already that he had planted the seed, and we don't necessarily need to continuously imagine over and over and over if the seed has already been planted, right? So, and the other thing is all things are possible. So there's no need to consistently and always do this. You can take a break. There will be just as many possibilities when you take a break and come back, and as not before the break. So that was my suggestion, right? Because it kept getting worse and worse. He saw this thing, it was really stressing him out, and then worse and worse it got, and reality got worse. His friends started talking to him about this negative thing that happened over and over. It was getting bad, really bad. So like I said, my suggestion was to take a break. So he had, I talked to him today, and he said that he did take a break. And then, those phone calls that were coming into him with bad news and all this stuff finally subsided down, right? So there's a key here, and it's that whatever you remove your awareness from, it can't stay alive, right? It's like a flower. You must constantly tend to it, or a plant. You have to tend to it for it to live. And the same goes with the thing that you're aware of. If you continuously are aware of it, or you're perceiving it, or paying attention to it, then it's staying alive and growing in force. So when he took a break, all of that stuff started slowing down rapidly. All that negative stuff started slowing down. And then he read that worksheet, and what I had suggested is take a different approach to imagining. Meaning, instead of being in the state itself with celebrating your anniversary, try something a little different. Remove yourself from the scene and instead try a phone call with a friend about the success, right? Because no matter what happens, if you've imagined successfully that you're talking to a friend about your success, then that plants a seed, and whatever needs to happen for you to have that phone call will happen. So if you have a phone call about your anniversary, then what needs to happen in the middle? Then you would need to get married in the middle, or something that would merit an anniversary. And just to be clear, we define the end result and nothing in the middle, because then in perfect order, those things will unfold if we don't mess with it, and we will end up on that phone call. So that was exactly what he did, and he described it in such a beautiful way to me. He said it was like the tide, right? So when he was imagining at first, the tide was coming in a nice, perfect order, and then suddenly it started to go back. And because he was so focused on it and stressed out and nervous and continuously imagined with that nervousness inside, the tide kept receding over and over, low tide, low tide, low tide, continuously. And then when he took that break, it was able to then reverse. And over the course of a few days, he took a break for 4 days, and when he came back to it, he was able to imagine the scene perfectly. And during that night that he imagined it again, he said he entered like a very vivid dream, like a lifelike dream. And if you've watched some of my previous videos, I make the claim, and it says this in the Bible, and it's been my personal experience, that dreams are a signification that God has heard the thing and that it will come to pass. So it was an extremely vivid dream of him in the end result, right? She was saying that she loved him, and it was so amazing to hear him say this. It was actually profound. And then not only that, but the next day he used the technique to call the friend. So he did that, and he fell asleep while doing it. And then the next day his friend called him and said, "Did you do an imaginal act that you called me and told me about her?" It was exactly what he had imagined. His friend had a dream that exactly what he had imagined, which is another indication that says, you've been heard. Your seed has been planted. And not only that, but then that person, that third party, was removed out of the picture, never seen again. And not only that, but then there was more movement. They kept bumping into each other. People kept running into her and then telling him that they ran into her. It was so perfect and so profound that it's absolutely evident that he's been heard. So the key point here is that the tide receded, but he kept on imagining with that stress and strain, and it kept receding out and out. And then once it reversed, he let it go and it reversed in, and then he imagined, and now it's coming like a flood inward, right? And there's been more movement than there ever has been before. And all he's done is imagine the end. That's it. That's it. Just imagining the end. Anything that needs to happen for that end result to take place will happen. And this is a very critical distinction here, to kind of leave it alone, right? So as humans, and I'm the greatest culprit of this, is I try to manage and control things with my hands, or my physical willpower, or my voice. I try to control and manipulate this world to get exactly what I want, because that's what I used to have to do before I knew how to imagine. And then manifest. And then once I learned how to manifest, I still was applying those same techniques, force, willpower, on trying to control and manage my manifestations. But the thing is, it's on a completely separate plane, entirely separate plane. And I had to learn that just through constantly trying to manage and control things, even with manifesting. The only thing that we need to do is imagine the end. And if things get sticky, if things get bothersome or disturbing and anxious, right, then we take a break. It is completely acceptable, and I highly recommend taking a break completely, because that could be all you need to relinquish control slightly for a few days or whatever. That could be all you need for your manifestation to be set, or for something that you're not paying attention to anymore to evaporate or vanish. Or, and in this case for my client, he's had, after this break, he said things have exploded. He's manifesting like crazy. So anyway, I hope you liked this video. I hope this was helpful for you. Just understand that we don't have to force and control things, right? We don't have to. All we have to do is imagine the end. So if you like this, scroll down, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Go to the website Sovereign Mind and register so you can be on my mailing list to get unlisted videos and tips and stuff like that. And stay tuned for more. Thank you so much for watching.